उदयतस्य हि कामस्य प्रतिबादो न सस्यते अपि निर्मुक्त संगस्य काम रक्तस्य किम पुनः. So translation says, to deny an offering that has come of itself is not commendable, even for one absolutely free from all attachment, much less one addicted to the sensual pleasure. A little confusing statement. In material life, everyone is desirous of sense gratification. Therefore, a person who gets an object of sense gratification without endeavor should not refuse to accept it. So what does it mean? We should indulge in sense gratification, it comes by its own? No. Prabhupada is writing, in material life, everyone is desirous of sense gratification. Those who are karmis, in material life, everyone is desirous of sense gratification. Therefore, so it is meant for karmis. So sometime, if we take one statement from Bhagavatam and we say, okay, this is the Bhagavatam, we should see as a complete whole and what is actually meant there. So in material life, everyone is desirous of sense gratification. Therefore, a person who gets an object of sense gratification without endeavor should not refuse to accept it. See, the whole material creation, Buddha writes in the one of the letter, the sum and substance of material life is attraction for the opposite sex. The sum and substance of spiritual life is attraction to Krishna. The whole material world moving under the pivot of attraction towards opposite sex. Not only the human society, but every species of life. Na khalu sarvata shat. In every life, the sense gratification, especially the attraction towards opposite sex and sexual desire is there. Khalu sarvata shat. So the whole society was designed such a manner that it can be decreased, so that gradually one can come to the platform. If one cannot come immediately, the whole purpose, that is sannyasa was compulsory. After brahmachari, grahastha, vanapastha, then sannyasa. Or it's not necessary everyone has to follow this path. Brahmachari directly go to sannyas. But before leaving the body, he has to come to a platform completely null and void of sensual desire. Atma indriya priti vancha tare bali kama. Krishna indriya priti iksha dhare priyama nama. So actually, yes, sense gratification is there. Like its attraction is there. One attraction for the opposite sex, another attraction for Krishna. We have to get attracted. We can't be null and void. We have we'll have some desire. So if we do not develop attraction towards Krishna, then we forced to get attracted by opposite sex. And that is cause for our suffering. Ihi sam isparsaja bhoga dukh evne evite adya antavant kaunteya na tesu ramte buddha. So when the sam isparsaja bhoga means kama. So when our senses come in touch with the sense object, sam isparsaja, isparsa, I look after the beautiful thing. Ears wants to hear beautiful music. Nose, skin and tongue. मवे वानशो जीव लोके बीच जीवभूता सनातना mana sastani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Karshati means struggling hard. Here also say dukh evne evite. Our cause of our suffering is our senses are coming in touch with the material sense object. So if our senses are not engaged completely into the service of Krishna, then forcefully they'll get dragged to the attraction towards sense gratification. Or sense gratification very intoxicating. And actually there is no pleasure. Chapal sukha. Maybe momentary pleasure. Chapal means very flickering. And material gratification is something like, as we discussed before, it never gives you the satisfaction. If you indulge, it may, somehow mind creates, after doing this, we may be little happy. Will be satisfied? No. It burns like a fire. Like, infusing the more fuel, it extinguish the fire. So that's the reason the kind of little tapasya was recommended. We have some senses, some bare minimum called sense gratification may be required to keep the body and soul together. That's it. We require eating, but that has to be minimized. Whole Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. As we have chosen the path where is required to completely cut off this all sense gratification, even desire. If we have a desire, then eventually we will dhyayato vishyan pumsa sangaste subjayate sangat sanjayate kamat krodha abjayate. Tasyev heto prayate khovida. So it is said that what we should endeavor, tasyev heto prayate khovida na labhyate yat brahmatam upri adha. Upri means upper level, adha means down. Na labhyate brahmatam, like fairies, we just moving, going up and down. Chide punne mrithyaloka besanti. So we should endeavor, for which we cannot achieve after going from top to the bottom, Brahmaloka to Patal-loka. So it is said that when we take birth, something called prarabdha karma, some degree of happiness, material happiness, or some degree of material suffering is destined. Who will take birth as human is destined, which cannot be changed. So it is recommended when we have some distress, any will come. So voluntary taking some austerities will help us to reduce suffering, which any other will come. If we do not take anxiety for Krishna, then we have to take anxiety for something else. In material anxiety we are talking about. That's destined. So this is called dukkha management kind of thing. We have to manage. But they are there. It can't be avoided. Similarly, sukha also. So we are not like, that's a reason Mayavadi is not successful. Even merging into Brahman. They have to come down. Because sukha also is there. We also look after sukha. So if we do not have the right mood for sukha, then we'll forced to do the wrong sukha. So that sukha, that's called happiness, we have to seek in our spiritual activities. If we do not enjoy chanting the holy name, if we do not enjoy kirtan, if we do not enjoy Krishna prasadam, we do not enjoy reading the books of Srila Prabhupada, we don't enjoy prasadam, then we forced to move. Even the prarabdha level I'm talking about, for the spiritual life is furthermore. Anandamaya abhyasa. So we have to come to the platform where we enjoy our. See, we cannot drag on for the long time as a matter of duty. Yes, we have to do it. But gradually, slowly we have to move towards that actually we enjoy. And we have been avoided the senses. We are not like a stone. We have got the senses. Sunset, look after. So if we are not looking for our spiritual activities, then look after something else. And maintaining the body, yes. Somehow, as you said, prarabdha karma is there. And if they are not burnt to our spiritual activity, then actually a bona fide spiritual activity, your force will go for that direction and will more entanglement come. Example, tallabhyate dukkhapat. So somebody may ask, so we should not do our required duties? No, you do required. You will be forced to do required. Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, you are born with nature. So that nature cannot be killed. But the Krishna consciousness is only hope. We have to completely engage in service of it. Senses we have is called material senses. And when our senses are purified, while by engaging in service of Krishna, then actually we can experience real transcendental happiness. Like it is said that yam labdha cha param labham mannate nadikam tataha yasmin istito na dukhena. So you start with what is the true happiness? Sukham atyantikam yattat buddhi grayam atindriyam. So real sukha is beyond this material senses. Sukham atyantikam yattat buddhi grayam atindriyam means beyond this sense. Beti yatrna chaivayam istitas chalati tattvata. Yam labdha, if we experience that transcendental happiness, yam labdha cha param labham, after getting that happiness, mannate nadikam, then come to nothing beyond that. Like Dhruv Maharaj case answer. He said, I don't desire anything now. Khacham vichinnam api dibya ratanam. He said, I am happy. Prahlad Maharaj, what you Muni want, Narshama, I am happy now. I don't require anything. So, yam labdha cha param labham mannate nadikam tapa. We won't find anything greater. Yashmin isthito na dukkhina guru napi bichalit. It's said that after experience that happiness, any amount of dukkha will not bichalit, will divert our attention. Sometimes dukkha comes, lot of dukkha comes, we might become off track from spiritual path. But after experience that sukha, transcendental happiness, any amount of dukkha will not be moved on. Like in the case of even Narad Muni in the previous life, he had a glimpse of the Lord in the heart. Then he became impatient. He wanted to have that darshan of the Lord. As we know, he tried a lot, somehow. Somehow he become mad. Why I am not getting same? He said, like this I have done, I had a darshan of the Lord, my heart. But with the same process again trying, nothing is happening. So then he become very disturbed in the heart, in the mind. So there are two learning. One learning, Krishna cannot be captured by our mechanical effort. Ataha Sri Krishna na bhavet grahayam in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Unless Krishna allow us to capture him, we cannot be captured by any means. And second, yam labdha cha param labham mannate nadhikam tata yasmin istito na dukhena guru napi vichalit. Tam vidyat dukh sam yoga viyogam yoga samjitam. So they said that in translation, in the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by practice of yoga. See, mind always seek pleasure. Mental speculation. Mental speculation means this may give me happiness, this will give me happiness. Varieties of thoughts. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by pure mind. Karishyati manasasthani rindani prakriti sthani karas. In that joyous state, one is situated is boundless transcendental happiness realizes through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never depart from the truth. Never depart from the truth means he can never live up the spiritual life. Upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in the midst of greatest difficulty. Says Bhagavad Gita says, not 2.70, the desires will come because it's not in our control. We are born with certain nature. So then what is our role? One role, don't create other sense gratification desire. We may have some desire previously. So don't create any new desires. Or endeavor to create, we should not endeavor for any new desires. First, then where you have to endeavor? Endeavor for developing spiritual desires. We have to work. How I can get attraction towards Krishna? Actually, only true object of attraction only Krishna. But falsely, that is all. Actually, if you see, in the beginning it was only some external energy. And by 3 modes created the varieties. And foolishly we get attracted. Bhagavatam gives the example of like a moth is getting attracted with the fire. Simply fire looks little glittering, another thing bright, and moth get interested and burns and dies. Similarly, if you see, everything in this material world is created by 3 modes of material nature. Only one homogeneous energy, external energy. Now we give the example like a movie, only light is there. Nothing is there on the screen. When you see one projection, only some light pages are there. And they are put such a manner that we concoct and see as some image or some person or something. What is in the movie theater? Person is not there. Nothing is there. Only some light patches. Somebody seeing in some movie some nice rasgulla and other thing, and he is thinking, oh, so nice it is. So it's a foolishness. So Anandamya Abhyasa, we are seeker of happiness. If we do not have happiness in our spiritual activities, we are forced to move on our material activities. So as he said, Bhagavad Gita says that if we have a lot of material desire, so the desires will be there, but we should become indifferent. It is said that desires may come to him like the waters of the rivers that flow into the ocean, but he is steady in his activities, and he is not even slightly disturbed by desire for sense gratification. That is a proof of Krishna conscious man, one who has lost all inclination towards material sense gratification, although the desires are present. Lost all inclinations. So actually when we talk to the consciousness Chaitanya, means inclination is called our Chaitanya, what we are inclined towards. and we can be get rid of by chanting the holy name and understanding the knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Otherwise, the inclination towards Sanskrit is very difficult. So that when we read, we understand from Srila Prabhupada. One of the acharyas says, the material world made us a donkey. Make a struggle hard, karshati. And end of the day, won't get anything. Simply are beatings by the Maya. Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification which arise from mental concoction, all kind of this, if mind is not engaged, that's the reason it is said first you have to engage your mind. Maybe physically you are engaged, but mind if is not engaged. Mithyachari. Na Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, Krishna says. Maybe you are doing some stuff, but mind is looking after some sense gratification. Savai manaha Krishna padar bindyo. The business should be the engaging first mind in the service of Krishna. So when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind thus purified, so mind has to be purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone. Self alone means in Krishna alone. They are the part of Krishna. Then he is said to be pure transcendental consciousness. A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego. So the sense of proprietorship and devoid of false ego. Actually, false ego, he alone can attain the real peace. So as long as we have a sense of proprietorship and also we are not devoid of false ego, till then we cannot attain the real peace. We say, no, people say we are not peaceful. And as I said, little Sanskrit reason will make you more mad after sense gratification. So some degree of austerities to controlling the mind, and that can happen only by completely engaged in service of Krishna. Mind cannot be vacant. As I said, if we do not take anxiety for Krishna, then we have to take material anxiety. I will force you to take anxiety. So some degree of some volunteer, bona fide, it cannot be concocted. Let me take austerities, so let me heard in Bhagavatam Sahib, after we go and stand in one leg for 10 hours. Let's see. So that kind of austerity will not help. These are all Mayavadi austerities. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor, see, we all do endeavor, we are continuously doing. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. So in the conditioned stage, our all endeavor, how I will be happy. So So one is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work has been burnt up by the fire of perfect knowledge. So that knowledge will help us, the transcendental knowledge will help not to get too much or not to engage in sense gratification. So what is called renunciation, you should know to be the same as yoga. Vairagya vidya nija bhakti yoga. So also we has required some degree of vairagya. Is integral part of bhakti. Linking oneself with the Supreme. O son of Pandu, one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. So yogi means here the devotee. So we should endeavor and try to gradually to come out from this. So our attraction, and which as he said is very strong attraction to the opposite sex with the pivot point. So when we so we can watchful of our mind. We only can watchful. Others we can pause ourselves. I am very good devotee. What is happening in your mind? Still we are looking for some kind of chapal sukha, material happiness, which will make you more and more even material distressed. Follow the spiritually. Because dukhalya mashan, that's the reason said is a place for suffering, even materially. So here we see in the Kardama Muni. So Kardama Muni is not like Hermes, he is a great yogi, and it is said that, so why he wanted to marry? He don't want to marry for the enjoyment. Being the Prajapati, he had assigned desire to create living entity. Why you want to create living entity? So that some of the jiva can purify and go back to Krishna. That's also the one spiritual activity they are doing, Prajapatis. Because some jiva has to come. And those jiva, if they do not get a body, then how they can be purified? They already got some contamination is done. Like Brahma and all other great Daksha, they all great Prajapatis. So here Kardama Muni also is a great yogi, and the task was given to him to create progenies and create the jivas, so that those jivas can get somebody and come out from this all, purify and go back to Godhead. So the whole material creation, so those jiva who revolt against Krishna, they want to sense gratification, they are being sent here, and the actual ultimate purpose so that they can purify and go back and live with Krishna eternally. So as a whole, when we read, we should try to understand and don't be a mistake. Kardama Muni also had a desire, because that desire was being assigned to him, and Vishnu has sanctioned, the Lord has come. So I will stop here. Granthraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Prem.